Well, I was sitting in my office the other day and I got a letter from a man who just retired. He was 67 years old, spent 40 years working for the same company, and he said he felt lost, like he didn't know what to do with himself anymore. And that got me thinking, because I'm 70 now, just turned 70 last month actually, and I still go to work every day, still love what I do, focusing on saving lives through the Gates Foundation and tackling big problems like climate change, global health, and even how AI can make the world better. But I know that's not normal. Most people retire. Most people want to retire. And for a lot of them, it's one of the hardest transitions they ever make. See, your whole life, you've been defined by your work, by what you do, by your title, your salary, your purpose, and then one day it's just gone. You wake up and you've got nothing but time, and that can be, well, it can be terrifying. I've heard from so many folks in similar spots, and it reminds me of my own reflections as I've gotten older, especially after stepping back from Microsoft day-to-day operations back in 2008. I didn't fully retire, but I shifted my focus, and that transition taught me a lot about what comes next. It wasn't easy at first. I had to rediscover parts of myself beyond the code and the boardrooms. So today I want to share some lessons with you, 10 lessons actually. Things I've learned over 70 years about life, about money, about what really matters when you get to this stage. Some of these lessons I learned early, like dropping out of Harvard to start Microsoft with Paul Allen in 1975, a decision that terrified my parents but set me on a path to change the world. Some I learned the hard way later than I should have, like realizing after becoming a father that there's more to life than just grinding through weekends and vacations without a break. I regret waiting so long to cut myself some slack and celebrate successes more, or not pushing harder on mobile technology, which was my biggest business mistake ever, letting Android dominate instead of us. And then there's the personal ones, like my divorce from Melinda in 2021, which I now see as my greatest regret in life, not just because of the pain it caused, but because it highlighted how much I had overlooked the importance of nurturing relationships amid all the ambition. But they're all things I wish I could tell every retiree, every person who's wondering, what now? What do I do with the rest of my life? So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let me share what I've learned. Because retirement, it's not the end of something, it's the beginning. And if you do it right, it can be the best chapter of your life. The first thing I want to tell you is this. You probably need less money than you think you do. See, most people spend their whole lives worried about money, worried they won't have enough, worried they'll run out, worried they'll end up broke in their old age. And I understand that worry. I really do. It's a legitimate concern, but here's what I've noticed over the years. Most people overestimate how much money they need in retirement by a lot, because when you're working, you're spending money on all kinds of things: commuting, work clothes, lunches out, stress spending after a long day. And then when you retire, a lot of that goes away. You're not commuting anymore. You're not buying work clothes. You're not eating out as much because you've got time to cook. Your expenses drop sometimes by 30%, 40%, even more. Plus, if you paid off your mortgage by the time you retire, which you should try to do, that's your biggest expense gone right there. So suddenly you're living on a lot less than you thought you'd need, and you're fine. You're comfortable. Now, I'm not saying you should retire with nothing. I'm not saying you don't need savings. You do. You absolutely do, but don't make the mistake of thinking you need millions and millions of dollars to retire comfortably. I know people who retired with $500,000 in savings, and they're living wonderful lives. They travel, they spend time with grandkids, they do what they want, And I know people who retired with 5 million and they're stressed and miserable because they're afraid of losing it. The money doesn't matter as much as you think. What matters is peace of mind. Living within your means, not spending more than you have. That's the first lesson. You need less than you think. I've learned this from my own life too. After a certain point, more money doesn't change much. I once said that beyond $1 million, it's the same hamburger. You can buy a fancy one, but it's still a hamburger. Focus on what truly satisfies you, not chasing endless wealth. In my case, that shift came when I realized that accumulating more wasn't fulfilling. It was using it for impact that mattered, like funding vaccines that have saved over 122 million lives since 1990 through global efforts I've supported. Now, the second lesson is about health. And this is something I wish I'd paid more attention to when I was younger. See, when you're 30, 40, even 50, you can get away with treating your body poorly. You can eat junk food, skip exercise, not sleep enough, and your body just bounces back. But when you get older, it doesn't work that way anymore. Your body starts breaking down, your joints hurt, your energy drops. Things that used to be easy, suddenly they're hard. And if you haven't taken care of yourself, well, retirement becomes about managing pain and illness instead of enjoying life. I've seen this happen to too many people. They work their whole lives, save up a nice nest egg, and then they're too sick to enjoy it. They can't travel because their knees are shot. They can't play with their grandkids because they're out of breath. They can't do the things they dreamed about doing. And that's heartbreaking. So here's my advice. If you're retired or about to retire, make your health your number one priority. Go to the doctor, get your checkups. If something feels wrong, don't ignore it. Don't put it off. Exercise. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Just walk. Walk 30 minutes a day. That's it. That alone will add years to your life. I try to get in at least that much myself, and I've been playing pickleball for years now. It's a great way to stay fit, improve heart health, build muscle, and even boost coordination. It's low impact but keeps me moving. Eat reasonably well. You don't have to be perfect. God knows I'm not. I still drink Diet Coke, but try to eat some vegetables. Try to avoid too much processed junk. And sleep, get enough sleep, 7-8 hours a night. Your body needs it to repair itself. Stay hydrated too. Simple things like that make a big difference. Because see, all the money in the world doesn't matter if you're too sick to enjoy it. Health is your real wealth. Protect it. And with advances in AI, like tools that can summarize your doctor visits or interpret MRIs, we're in the best time ever to stay on top of your health. Take advantage of that tech to make it easier. I've invested in longevity research because I believe we can make aging optional. But it starts with daily habits. I've read books like Outlive by Peter Attia, which opened my eyes to how we can extend healthy years, not just lifespan, through things like better nutrition and stress management. Well, lesson 3 is something that's kept me going all these years. And that's curiosity, staying curious, keep learning. See, a lot of people retire and they just stop. They stop reading, they stop learning new things, they just watch TV and wait around to die. And that's a waste because your brain needs exercise just like your body does. If you stop using it, it atrophies, it gets weaker. I read for hours every day. Always have. I read about 50 books a year, annual reports, newspapers, books on science, medicine, all kinds of stuff. And you know what I'm still learning. At 70, I'm still learning new things every single day, like how AI can revolutionize health or why cells age and how we might make longevity optional. Just this holiday season, I recommended 5 books that spark curiosity. One's on finding purpose later in life, Game Theory from the Pandemic, Ocean Mysteries, a novel about a clever octopus, and The Science of Aging. Each pulls back the curtain on how something works, and that keeps me sharp, keeps me engaged, keeps me alive in a way. So when you retire, don't just turn off your brain. Find things to learn about. Take a class, learn a language, learn to paint, learn about history or science or whatever interests you. Read books, good books, not just mysteries and thrillers, though those are fine too. But books that teach you something, that make you think, like Steven Pinker's The Better Angels of Our Nature, or my recent pick, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Because the moment you stop learning, you start dying. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually. You don't really start getting old until you stop learning. And that's no way to spend your retirement. Stay curious. Stay hungry for knowledge. It'll keep you young. I take think weeks where I isolate myself with books and papers to dive deep into ideas. It's how I recharge and come up with new ways to tackle global problems. Now, this is a lesson I learned the hard way. For most of my life, I was focused on work, on building Microsoft, on investing and making money. And that was fine when I was younger. That was important, but it came at a cost. I missed time with my family, missed moments with my kids, missed things I can't get back now. I used to think leaders filled every minute with work, but after becoming a dad, I realized I needed to make space for family, though I wish I'd done it sooner. My divorce from Melinda was painful, and I've moved past it, but it taught me relationships are fragile and require constant effort. And the older I get, the more I realize the relationships are what matter. Not the money, not the success, the people. When I'm lying in bed at night, I'm not thinking about Microsoft. I'm not thinking about stock prices or quarterly earnings. I'm thinking about the people I love, the conversations I had, the moments we shared. That's what fills your heart. That's what gives life meaning. So if you're retired or about to retire, invest in your relationships. Spend time with your spouse, your partner, the person you've shared your life with. Go on dates. Have conversations. Really listen to each other. Spend time with your kids. Even if they're grown, even if they're busy with their own lives, call them, visit them, be present. And your grandkids. Oh, your grandkids, if you've got grandkids, spend as much time with them as you can, because see, those relationships, those connections, that's your legacy. That's what you leave behind. Not the money, not the house, not the car, the love, the memories, the impact you had on the people around you. So don't waste your retirement accumulating more stuff. Invest in people. That's where the real wealth is. And remember, life is about the people you meet, the people you miss, even the people you hate sometimes. Balance work and life earlier than I did. My kids, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe, have taught me more about joy than any board meeting ever could.